during a chaotic protest outside the Portland ICE facility.
They dragging him out.
He was on the scene as it unfolded, and he joins us now from Oregon with the latest. Bill.
There we go. There's my mic. Jesus. OBS is so shit about that. I swear, dude. Okay. Yeah.
To some people is not as bad as pointing a gun at a pregnant woman. And if you think it's the same thing, you're a retard.
Things got pretty heated out here at the Portland ICE building last night. We witnessed a violent fist fight that left a man knocked out. We saw the burning of American flag, the macing of protesters, and multiple clashes with federal agents. We'll get right into the video, show you what we witnessed. Take a look. This was last night, one of those clashes. Federal agents bull rushing and arresting a protester who had stepped onto federal property despite repeated warnings. There was another protester taunting the agents.
Fatty tried to run away. You're not going anywhere.
On a megaphone asking them what the feds were going to do about it if they walked on their property. Well, that guy found out. There was another video we had of agents chasing down and arresting a separate protester, though it's unclear what this woman was detained for. Now take a look at this. We also witnessed a violent fight. These two guys had been jawing at each other all night long. Then the fists started flying. The man in the white shirt was pro-ICE. The man in the black shirt anti-ICE. He was the one who got laid out with a punch to the face. Minutes later, we saw him appear to collapse and go limp with some serious swelling to his face.
Oh, no, he could be dead from that. That could kill you. Like falling down, being knocked unconscious like that, and then hitting the back of your head on a pavement, concrete, yeah, that could kill you, cause permanent brain damage. This fight probably is going to change his life. If not end it. Shouldn't have been fighting. Shouldn't have done it.
Federal agents had to carry him inside their building for medical attention. But guys, there was no Portland police around to intervene during any of this. It's an issue the Portland ICE.
A lot of people don't understand how fast fights can escalate and how quickly somebody can get hurt from a fight.
Told me has been an ongoing problem due to local politics. Take a listen.
There have been folks that have been assaulted right down here on the street, even across the street, and it takes Portland police
that guy started it too.
To respond, or sometimes they don't respond at all.
In the meantime, anti-ICE protesters also set this American flag on fire before it was then ripped away by independent journalist Nick Shorter. He grabbed that flag with the flagpole, put the flames out, took the flag away, leading to him being cussed out by the protesters. More on him.
What a surprise. Oh, yeah, he's the guy that got arrested.
Incident. We witnessed this female protester get maced in the face by a federal agent for unknown reasons. She had been yelling at agents, but we didn't see anything physical. Well, Portland police officers who watched from the sidelines then walked over after this and began collecting videos of the macing from witnesses who saw it. Officers on scene told us they are reviewing the incident for potential federal wrongdoing. And back out here live at
I don't think they probably should have maced her. I mean, like, there's so many people that are violent and trying to, like, obstruct the police that macing some random person that's standing and yelling at them, I feel like, I mean, really, like, there's 50 other people that you should have maced before that.
Of the night, the Portland Police Bureau says they sent in their
bad priorities
response team, but that was after all.
I don't really feel bad for her, right? I mean, but at the same time, like, I don't think it's really a good way of handling it.
The violence and tension had already finished. Portland police say they ended up arresting 3
I'm not going to give a fuck that much, okay?
We can confirm
don't worry.
Is independent journalist Nick Shorter, the guy we just showed you.
So the guy got arrested?
Pulling the burning American flag away. We don't know exactly what he was arrested for just yet. We're working on getting those details, but a night of tension out here in Portland.
Yeah,
and the
I bet.
National Guard still has not arrived on scene yet, guys. We'll send it back to you.
So, Bill, 2 things. So the local cops aren't allowed to back the other men and women in blue there when there's violence, but they can investigate them. And number 2, they can go after a conservative journalist that's out there on the ground, but they can't go after the violent protesters?
It's obvious that the police are it's obvious they're compromised. It's so obvious.
So the ICE director here in Portland told us that's basically the case, that Portland police are largely restricted by the mayor and city council from responding to the area around this building. She said it's like there's a bubble around this building and that it gets frustrating for them inside to have to watch attacks and assaults right out here on the street in front of the building, which is Portland police jurisdiction. But police never show up and respond, and if there's no federal nexus, they can't do anything about it. And yes, Lawrence, to your point, the other night there was another independent reporter, Katie Davis.
At a certain point, the problem, I think, is that the people that make these decisions at the top level never get held accountable for the outcomes. So when you have people that are intentionally saying not to like police certain areas, at what point do you become an accessory for the crimes that happen in those areas? I mean, in my opinion, I think that Trump and the government, the federal government should be looking at every single way that they can dissect what these people are doing and then charge the individuals that are in leadership positions of federal crimes. That's what I would want to see happen. And the worst crime possible with the worst punishment possible. Because these people are effectively condemning their own constituents to live in terror. It's outrageous. Nobody should accept this.
Who got smacked in the face by a girl wearing black bloc out here. That she got hit in the face with a flagpole.
Plain treason.
And she's got
Not
a big black eye from it. She helped chase down the suspect who
just
hit her.
Another
there was
word.
A Portland police liaison right there. The girl was never arrested, but then you have Nick Sorter, who was out here. Again, we don't know what happened. We didn't see what happened, but he got arrested, and he had just tweeted 2 nights ago that if he were to defend himself out here, he thinks Portland police would arrest him. So we're going to try to
how about that?
Touch with him and figure out what happened, but there is a lot of frustration.
I'm a skeptical guy. Maybe Nick Sodor did something to get himself arrested so he could pretend to be a victim. I don't know. I'm a very skeptical person, especially after being taken advantage of and lied to by a bunch of people that are very opportunistic. So I reserve judgment on that, but I do think I would start on his side, but at the same time, I'm not going to immediately believe anything he says.
With the way Portland police handle things out here, I can tell you we were out here.
I don't think anybody should
be reasonable. Midnight, and they'll have a couple police liaisons watching everything from across the street, if anyone is here at all. But they don't get involved in anything. That fist fight we showed you, we all knew that was going to happen. I mean, these guys were jawing at each other for 30 minutes straight. You could feel the temperature going up, going up, going up. They were starting to shove each other. Then the fists started flying.
Yeah.
The one guy looked like he was hurt pretty bad. We can't
he's
report
fucked.
to you, though. He eventually
He's
walked out of the
omega
guy's building
fucked.
behind us. It was the feds who had to treat him. He walked out and joked. He was conscious. He walked by our cameras and joked with us. He goes, I almost made it to Friday, joking about the fact that he had lost that fight. So no police there to intervene during that fight whatsoever.
So, Bill, is this similar to Los Angeles when you were covering the riots in the streets with the ICE, and it was slow for the LAPD to actually get there, and we heard the police on that Sunday say, it looked like it was getting out of control, so we brought in the cops? Is this similar to the situation?
It's similar to LA, yeah.
The Portland police even slower than the LAPD?
Way slower than LAPD. At least in LA, you have LAPD on scene watching everything, so if something does happen, they can jump in quickly. Here, it's even worse. It's rare to even see any Portland police officers. They'll have maybe 2 guys in white shirts standing on the corner, but they're not the real officers who can take enforcement. They're called the Portland police liaisons. They're the ones who are supposed to walk around and try to de-escalate things, but they didn't do any de-escalating with that fight. So in my opinion, with my experience covering LAPD and just being out here the last few nights, LAPD a whole lot quicker responding than Portland police.
How do you not get the frog? Like, I mean, really, isn't this kind of embarrassing? I mean, I feel like this is the easiest one to get. But the frog and the fat chick, yeah, maybe American flag Pikachu would be hard to catch. But the frog? What are we doing?
Just terrible. Great job out there, Bill.
They maced his air hole. I saw that.
Had the black eye. She was on Jesse's show the other night, and she said the liaison police. She kept saying,
"I'll show you the video."
That did this to me. That's the girl right there, and they couldn't do anything. And then what was it? Like 24 hours later, now they're looking for the girl. She was right there.
It was like in Star Wars, the end of Star Wars. where Luke shoots the fucking missiles into the Death Star.
Cool cop out there that want to do your job.
I swear to God, show you all the video.
For what they're asking you to do. You
We
can go
finish
to
this,
ICE.
though.
Actually, you can go right there. It'll take you 2 weeks.
No, I'll let y'all
do
see
a
it.
refresher course, and you can be back on the street doing real cop
Yeah.
work. But I think it's disgraceful. I think you should turn your badge
is.
and gun in. You
True.
shouldn't be doing the job if
True.
you can't arrest violent criminals, but then you want to investigate the cops out there that's doing their job?
Nah.
No way.
Doesn't that
Yeah.
reinforce what the president said? I'm sending in troops. We don't need you. We don't need your help. Obviously,
Yeah.
you need his
Yeah.
help
Yeah.
because the cops can't do anything or choosing not to.
Well, they don't
And now-
want it. They don't want it. They're creating this unrest in order to create a situation that makes it look like Trump is a like a dictator or something, because he wants to uphold the federal law.
The ICE, in order have to protect themselves in order to do their
Is
job.
it just me? I mean, when you see someone standing on an American flag, burning it and standing on it, I know free speech, you're allowed to burn the flag.
No, you're not. He's starting a fire in a public space randomly. Should be fucking arrested. If he was burning a Bible, burning a Quran, burning Lord of the Rings, especially Lord of the Rings, he should have been arrested too. It's arson. What the fuck are we talking about? It's not freedom of speech to start a fire in the fucking street. What are we talking? No, this is so, fuck.
But all I can think about are our grandfathers who fought for this country, or men
Not a
and
good look.
Yeah.
No, just why are you in this country if you don't stand for the flag? So many people have lost their lives for that right there.
Is Portland still part
Who
of the country?
cares?
I mean,
Who cares? Somebody wants to buy a flag and burn it. That's their right. I don't care. But if you do this in public, it's arson and you should go to fucking jail. It's insane.
By the way they're acting,
What is
they
this
don't want to
person
be
doing
there.
dressed like a bird?
I'm Steve Ducey.
Dressed like, was it a bird? Oh,
They're acting.
dressed like a harpy. As I said, there are some times that art imitates life, and there's sometimes that life imitates art that's imitating life. And I think that's what we're seeing right here. So, yeah, there you go, right? And that's the witch lady. Yeah, crazy how that happens, isn't it? I'll link you guys the video. Let me go back. Oh, this is it.
Dressed like a
That was
a
it.
bird.
It's the whole video.
I'm Steve Ducey.
Yeah, that's their little outro thing. I've watched these before. I know that. So, yeah, there we go. And all right, I will go. You guys do get a chance. They did handle the frog, okay? They did. They took care of him. Watch this. Where is it? Oh, fuck, bro. Like, god damn. Bro, camera move. Hit the weak spot. Oh god, new Trump video. Yeah, I'll watch it in a minute. Holy fuck, bro. Like, wow. It's a crit damage, bro. It's 200% damage. I'm just sad this one wasn't longer, man. I really was. The UK government, oh, this is new. So just for a little bit of context, there was a huge petition going on because the United Kingdom government has decided that digital ID will be implemented. Did they decide this through a vote? No. Did they decide this through an election? No. Did they decide this through a consensus of the public? No. But that doesn't matter because progress can't be stopped. So we have right here. So basically, this is Keir Starmer, who is basically has the charisma of a wet towel and the policies of also a wet towel. And so basically, this guy, is going out there trying to push digital ID. He really wants everybody to have digital fucking ID. And so did he sentence? It's not happening right now. I mean, when it happens, I'll watch it, but it's not happening. Let me know when it happens and I'll watch it. That being said, so he decided that digital ID is necessary. And let me see here, digital ID. I'm just gonna just UK, right? Just gonna look at UK, just so you guys get the idea of what's going on. So how many people argue with the digital ID if you're not a criminal, right? Even Palantir is saying that UK's digital ID plan is a step too far. Imagine when you go so fucking authoritarian, fucking surveillance state that even Palantir, named after the Seeing Stones in Lord of the Rings, that was used by Sauron and Saruman to spy on their enemies and conspire to enslave Middle-earth. The company that's named after them is like, jeez, guys? Isn't this a little too far? Oh man, like isn't this, oh wow, what is this? Who is Palantir? Yeah, that's it. And so not necessarily looking too good for the UK, right? And so anyway, that's pretty much where it is. This is what political class prioritizes, want to control law-abiding citizens. Of course they do, obviously that's the goal. So and this is all, it's all being pushed in the best interest of children. And I mean, digital ID, it's the same as, like, if somebody cuts off your arm, you'll lose weight. And so if you're trying to lose weight, cutting off your arm will cause you to lose weight. And in the same way, digital ID will make children more safe on the internet. It will. And it will have other positive effects. There is not only negative effects of digital ID. However, the negative effects outweigh the positive effects, right? And that's really where we're talking about, right? That's where we're at. We're not talking about nothing. Very few things in life are binary. Some of the things in life that are binary, there's actually a lot of people who think that they're not. But anyway, that's a different conversation. The point is that now the UK government has responded to the petition, because obviously a lot of people in the UK were unhappy about this because they were like, oh, well, we don't want the government that's arresting people for tweets using digital ID. I wonder why. And so anyway, the government has responded. There was a huge petition. It has, let me see if I can find it. UK petition digital ID. Let me just go ahead and see if I can find it. And where is it? Okay, so it's got 2.7 million signatures. Now, is that a big number? I would argue that this is, in fact, a big number. This is a big number. It's substantial. That's almost 3 million people. Now, what is the population of the UK? I actually don't know. Let me ask the internet. Population of the UK. I think it's like probably like, what, 50 million? Like, that's what I'm guessing. 69. Look at that. It's the number. 69 million. Okay, so it's more than what I thought. And I guess it's probably also counting Scotland and Ireland too, right? I mean, I would be assuming that, but maybe not. Oh, no, I guess UK is it? Is this counting Scotland and Ireland also? Is it or not? Yes. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure. And, you know, like, honestly, I still probably would have gotten it wrong. But, like, yeah, okay. All right, good. Anyway, so my point is that 3 million people out of 70 almost million people is not a huge majority, right? But it is a huge majority of people that have signed an online petition and have been activated to do that. And I think that it represents a larger amount. It's a mining canary. And so anyway, the government has now responded to the petition. So obviously the petition had some effect, or they wouldn't be responding to it. So let's read what the response was. Parliament will consider this. Okay? If it gets more than 100 signatures. The government has responded. We will Okay. All right. Well, there we go, guys. There it is. So I mean, isn't this like, I mean, can't they get sued for like false advertising? Considers all petitions that get more than 100 signatures for a debate. I mean, this really isn't a debate though, right? I mean, fuck. Like, I mean, I feel like if you go in, this is like, for example, like Donald Trump goes into the election, you know, against like, you know, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump is like, I will be the president. Everybody claps, and that's the end of it. I will be the president. All right, that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna win the election. Okay, well, they considered it. Well, they said it was open for debate, but clearly it's not. Anyway, so let's take a look and see what they're saying here. We will introduce a digital ID within this parliament to help tackle illegal migration, make accessing government services easier, and enable wider efficiencies. Excuse me. We will consult on details soon. So the response to the petition with 3 million signatures of all these people speaking out, angry that their government is forcing a digital ID on them, is for the government to remind them that their votes, their opinions, their voices don't matter, and it's going to happen no matter what. This is not a good day to be a United Kingdom citizen. It's definitely not. And that's kind of insane. So disrespectful to their voters. Wouldn't be the first time, would it? And so anyway, that's where we're at. The actual rulers and owners want it? Oh, of course they do. And I think the population will accept it. I do think so. And I know people don't want to hear this, but I think the population will accept digital ID. And it will. And if you think they won't now, just think about COVID. Think about how many civil liberties and freedoms and rights that everybody just willingly and they were begging to give up their rights during COVID. They wanted their rights to be taken away during COVID. So all you need is an unpleasant situation, and you're going to have all of this stuff be receded in a matter of days. So that's it. They accept it because they don't understand it. Yeah, Twitch doesn't show that you're live. I don't know. I mean, like, Twitch is fucked. It's been fucked for a month now. I don't know why it has so many problems. What's funny to me about this, I just opened up my Kick fucking dashboard here, is that Kick has never had problems. I've streamed on Kick now for 3 or 4 months or something like that. It's been something like that. I guess 3 months. It's been 4 months total, but I was gone for a month. There has never been any problems. You guys on Kick have always been like there every time. Nobody's been saying, oh, I didn't get a notification. How the fuck how are they doing this wrong, man? I don't know what it is. Did you read Kick Chat? I tried to. I click back and forth sometimes. It's against the TOS for me to show Kick Chat on my Twitch stream, which is so stupid. It's so weird. Well, it's not weird. It's just so Twitch can maintain another hegemony over live streaming, right? That's the reason why they're doing it. But that being said, it's very annoying that it's the case. Because you have conservative views? Well, I don't know about that. I wouldn't really go that far. I meme about that. I joke about it. But is it something that's actually true? I wouldn't necessarily say that or go out on a limb and be like, this is the reason why. But anyway, so yeah, why other streamers can't say Kick and you can, ads? I don't know about other streamers can't say Kick. I mean, I stream on Kick, I stream, on Twitch. That's just the way it is. I mean, if I'm going to get banned for saying that, I mean, fuck, I might as well just start looking for another platform already. It's, I can understand Twitch not wanting you to directly promote a competitor all the time on their platform. I think that's reasonable. To a degree, it's reasonable at least. But, what's funny to me is that YouTube allows you to promote Rumble, and Rumble is a direct competitor to YouTube, but YouTube is such a massive presence in the space that they know that they have such a monopoly it doesn't matter. So I think the fact that Twitch doesn't allow you to promote other competitors implies that Twitch knows that they are not on completely solid ground, which is a different conversation. Let me go back and talk about this, okay? Like, I'm getting distracted. I'm getting fucking ADD'd out of my mind. So let's focus back on the fucking, the digital ID. And then I can talk about the Twitch stuff after that. So anyway, Divine Competitor, Rumble versus YouTube is on. Okay, all right. So let's move back. Anyway, we just give it fucking 10 minutes, all right? And then I'll get back to it. That being said, digital ID, I think, is the future. I think it's going to happen. I think that I think there's going to be some sort of biometric digital ID. Now, right now, I think that the first version of biometric digital ID that will be universal will be iris, like a person's eye, and a couple of other biometric readings. I don't think that you're going to have, like that Larry Ellison interview, I think that he was right in that passwords are very easily stolen, etc. And because of that, I think you're probably going to see, I hope you're wrong. Well, I'm not you can say that. This is just what I'm predicting is going to happen, right? Like, I'm not telling you I want this to happen. I'm not saying this should happen. I'm just telling you, like, I think this is like, you know, if I say it's going to rain today, it doesn't mean I necessarily want it to rain, even though I would because it's hot here. But, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean I want it to happen. I'm just saying I think this is what's going to happen. So that being said, I think that digital ID is inevitable. I think it's inevitable. I think that too much of the population is not concerned with privacy. Too much of the population is not concerned with any sort of surveillance. A lot of people don't care about it. They're going to rationalize it by saying that everybody has camera phones everywhere and that the government can look your stuff up anyway. And so it's normalized in their mind. And also that you need licenses to do other things in real life. And as the internet becomes more like real life and an extension of real life, it would be logical that you would need a license to use the internet as well. That's going to be what they're going to use. That's going to be how people are going to think. And I guarantee you this is what's going to happen. Clip it and wait in fucking, I would say 6 years, but I think probably 6 months is better. The people are going to be making these same arguments. That being said, and, you know, getting into all of that, I do think this is going to be problematic. And I think that the core problem with the UK is not necessarily this in itself. It's the laws that this helps enforce. And what I mean by that is that the UK has a bunch of speech laws that prevent people from speaking their mind and giving any feedback or criticism to the government or to any sort of, you know, religious group or minority group in a way that is considered hate speech. And so the real problem, like, I mean, people are already getting arrested for posts on the internet, right? So it's not like this is going to change a whole lot, but obviously it's not good either. What I think is going to happen is I think this will basically put that on steroids. It's going to make whatever the enforcement is already, it's going to probably 3 or 5 or 10x that enforcement, and it's going to make it that much easier for them to do. So that's pretty much where things are going. Digital ID, I think, is an inevitability in the UK. And this is the reason why I think that it's so important for them to try to push back and stop the government from doing this. Because also, like, I think the UK government is, I mean, I don't live in the UK, so, like, maybe I'm just speaking about this from a third party. I don't know what I'm talking about. But, like, from what I'm seeing, they look like, it looks like a shithole, right? It looks like a complete shithole. It looks awful. So wouldn't this make people push back even harder then? No, because there's not enough of them. I understand that there are some of them, but I think that the digital ID is such a soft form of oppression that a lot of people won't even feel it. And I think that you compare that with, for example, migration, mass migration, or, you know, the amount of illegal immigrants, the boats and all of that stuff. That's something that's much more easily seen. And I think that now, because it's been more prevalent in that culture, that it's easier for people to define an effect that it has. And this is what the difference is between that and this. So yeah, do you think the push for real ID can fail? Do you think that it can fail? Is there a universe where it can? Yeah, but it's a Doctor Strange 1 in 54 million universe. I think that it's almost inevitable. And I wouldn't bet on it failing. I would bet on it failing maybe first 2 times. I wouldn't guarantee it's going to succeed the first time, but I guarantee that it will succeed within 5 or 10 years. Does that make sense? And I think that there will be continued pushes for digital ID, and soft forms of it will become more and more encompassing over time. Because once you get your foot in the door with something like that, then all you have to do is expand its functionality, and then it affects everybody. So that's what I think is actually going to happen. Well, what do you guys think about that? This will help eliminate bots in video games? It will. Yes, it will. And so that's pretty much the way I think things are going. They say it's for combating migration. Why don't they only ID the migrants? Well, sometimes you don't know who the migrants are, right? Like, there could be a brown person in the country and they could have lived there for 3 generations. I mean, it's not a guarantee that every brown person is an immigrant, or a migrant, excuse me. I would say they probably all pretty much are immigrants, because Europe and England is primarily Anglo-Saxon ethnicity. But, they could be like fucking immigrants from like the 1900s, right? So it's a big difference. They could stop the boats for starters. Yeah, I think that would be a really good start. But anyway, the migrant, it's an excuse to give up privacy. You're right. And I am becoming increasingly more conspiracy pilled. I am. And this is what's so crazy, is that I wish my mom was still around. Well, I mean, for a lot of reasons. Mainly 2 reasons, because she made a really great pot roast. And the other reason is so she could see that all of her fucking conspiracy theories and the crazy shit that she would believe is actually happening. It's actually happening. And I was like, there's no way they're going to do this. There's no way this is going to happen. I would argue with her whenever I was a kid. I was like, there's no way they're going to try to push like gender ideology on kids. There's no way this is going to happen. She's like, you see, I tell you, watch this video. And like the thumbnail of the video is like Obama with like a lizard face, and there's laser beams coming out of his eyes, and he's destroying, like a white family's house. And so, like, I just assumed that this video was wrong, right? But man, no, she was a big Mike believer. She was. Like every crazy, like she knew more about conspiracy theories than Alex Jones. I'm literally not even kidding, because she was an academic. She had multiple college degrees. She was a writer. She has probably, if you took the combined weight of every book that she has in this house, it would be heavier than a car. Okay? Like, it's insane. And so she knew all David. Oh no, she knew about David Icke in like 2003. I was hearing about David Icke whenever I was in middle school, okay, guys? So, oh yeah, this isn't even something new or anything like that. What car? It could be a bus, all right? It's a lot of them. And digital form is another form of globalization and thereby the destruction of society. Digital ideas, I don't think that's, I see your point of view, but I think it's about the utility of it, right? Because I think you can have globalization without digital ID, and you can also have digital ID without globalization. Like South Korea is a great example of that I would use. But overall, I see your point of view. And also, whenever all of these things are happening and you have the WEF and all that stuff, I recognize the trepidation. But yes, that's basically what I'm saying. You're right about stages. They'll put digital ID for porn access, then people will cave in, and then it'll come in forms of general access. I think that porn access will actually be a tougher nut to crack, for lack of a better metaphor, than you might imagine. I think there's a lot of people that want to keep their porn history and everything very, very private. So I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. Now, it might happen. I don't know. But it's not something I would necessarily guarantee. I don't know about that. And UK was just the beginning. If it isn't pushed back, and the rest of the world will follow soon. Well, no, what you're not understanding is that the UK isn't the first domino. It's like the 5th or 6th. There's a number of countries already that already have a form of digital ID to begin with. I just gave the example of South Korea, for example. So, no, I don't agree with you on that. I don't think that's true. I think that the fact is this has been a global push that's been going on for the last 10 years. And the UK is the first, you're right about this, that it's the first westernized country Western country that is adopting this in a serious way. That part is true. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So the UK has responded, and the response is that the beatings will continue until morale improves. The debate has already happened. You've lost, categorically, because you can't vote.
That's incorrect. Sweden, Estonia, Denmark, Norway. There you go. Those aren't westernized countries. Get the fuck out of here.
That's it. All right, great. Doesn't Australia already have this? I'm not familiar enough with Australia's laws to really have an opinion on that. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I just don't really pay a lot of attention to it, if you want me to be honest with you. So I don't know. And but South Korea probably isn't going to use it for hunting down normal people on X. Actually, South Korea used geolocation on somebody's phone with push notifications that you had to respond to during COVID in order for them to track your location at all periods and times to make sure that you didn't leave your house whenever you weren't supposed to. So guys, totalitarianism and authoritarianism is not a idea in a book. It's only like 3 weeks away. Every horrible thing is 3 weeks away. Keep that in mind. 3 weeks, maybe if it's really bad, it could take a month. Other than that, yeah, COVID was a red pill. It was. And so, no, I don't agree with this at all. They'll say kids' safety. Oh, yeah, no, it's, but the real safety that they're trying to ensure is the government's. And that's really it. Young Japanese are starting to realize what? At this rate, Japan might disappear. This may sound dramatic, but it's already happening. 25-year-old Japanese living alone in Tokyo. I used to fully support immigration because I thought diversity would make the world more interesting. I think diversity does make the world more interesting, but the whole world doesn't need to be in your city. So, like, I'm a big fan of multiculturalism, of diversity. I'm actually a fan of this. I think it's a good thing, but that doesn't mean that you have to combine everything into a massive soup in every single area. I think that different cultures, there's cultures that don't really mix very well together, right? And I think we all know this. I think it's a politically incorrect thing to say, but it's a very factually correct thing to say also, that certain cultures don't mix very well. And that doesn't mean that they can't have interplay. That doesn't mean that they can't have mutual appreciation. That doesn't mean that they can't work together to solve common problems. But it does mean that in day-to-day life, if you have these people living next door to each other, you're going to have problems. You are. That's the way it is. We see my opinions change. Not that I'm against it. And this is what all people are still in this period of time. Like, again, I've always had this viewpoint, and, you know, I probably always will. But I think a lot of people are afraid of being labeled as a racist for being against immigration, especially like large forms of immigration. But I think this is a receding value. I think that in time, people will simply not care, because calling people a racist for being against immigration, I think that this has hit a very large diminishing return. I fear Japan will split into 2 separate communities. Wow, only 2? That's pretty lucky. How about that? I saw a similar scene in Canada. I hear Canada is having a lot of it, because I don't like how, I've said this before, I don't like how Indians from India, not Native American, your American Indians, but Indians from India, I don't like how they're treated on social media. I think it's unfair, right? And I'm a big fan of racist jokes. I love racist jokes. I ask any of my real life friends. Okay? I love them. That being said, what I'm not a fan of is the fact that Indians and white people, and to a lesser degree Asians, have this almost permissiveness with allowing racial jokes on their negative, on their behalf negatively, but whenever you're talking about other racial minorities, in some cases, you're not allowed to do them. I think all of it's okay or none of it's okay. That's my viewpoint. Again, I don't like how Indians have been included into that. Yeah, white guilt. Yeah, sure. At their expense. Yeah. And joke and hate is different. I think it's pretty obvious, right? Like, I'm basically a all of the jokes or none of the jokes kind of guy. And if I had to pick, I would go 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000 with all of the jokes. Yeah, you're going to get a few racist people, but we've got them anyway, and the jokes aren't allowed to begin with. So clearly it hasn't stopped anything. And in my opinion, this is my opinion, but in like the 2000s, I feel like a lot of this like racial politics stuff wasn't as front and center as it is now. And this is with Dave Chappelle dressing up as a KKK member. This was with, all kinds of, Rush Hour, Jackie Chan, and was it Chris Tucker, making racist jokes. The entire movie was a racist joke. And everybody was going to see it. Everybody loved it. White people, black people, Asians, Hispanics, everybody loved this movie. How many of you guys watched any of the Rush Hour movies in movie theaters with your parents or by yourself if you're old enough, right? How many of you guys watched one of those movies in movie theaters? The end. All of comedy, all of cinema was building up to the magnum opus, Tropic Thunder. Tropic Thunder was the pinnacle. It was the peak. It was as good as it was going to get. Everything after Tropic Thunder was worse. Everything before Tropic Thunder was worse. That right there, that was the... If we could just crystallize and keep that society, Everything in the world would be perfect, okay? So I've never seen Tropic Thunder. Big mistake. Now you should go to jail. And in fact, Tropic Thunder's peak is so sad. Everything has been trashed since then. Well, some of the movies have, I mean, I think there have been some good, like some good movies. Like This Is the End. I remember watching that one. I like that one. I thought 21 Jump Street was a good movie. Those are just two that come right off the top of my head after Tropic Thunder. But, in a general sense, I think that you're right. But anyway, so yeah, people hate immigration because immigrants never assimilate and respect the country. Well, they don't do that because they are being brought in at levels that they don't have to. It's kind of like, so here's a really good parallel to this. Do you guys ever remember back whenever it was like your first day or your first week in middle school or high school, and you probably sat with all the people that you went to middle school or elementary school with, right? So like, it's your first day of middle school, you find all the people that came from like your elementary school and you're sitting and hanging out with them. And then over time you assimilate into the middle school and then you make new friends, etc., right? I think that if you bring in too many people from one group, they stay at that table. This is like maybe kind of a weird metaphor to make, but I think that it's very personal and a lot of people can relate to it, right? I think that's kind of... This guy was working as a superintendent for a school. Whenever he had gun charges, he was an illegal alien, and he was even supposed to be in the country, and he was getting paid like $200,000-$300,000 a year. Guyana citizen, has never been a U.S. citizen, entered the U.S. on a student visa in 1999. The visa expired in 2004, denied permanent residence 4 times, not authorized to work when hired by Des Moines Public Schools in 2023, reportedly lied that he was a citizen on a job application, issued order for deportation in 2024, failed to report for the removal hearing, found to have had multiple illegally obtained firearms out of his arrest, registered to vote, lied about having a degree from Morgan State University, reportedly served a restraining order in 2023, and he was the superintendent for an entire fucking school system. This is your society run by Karens.
And it turns out that illegal aliens can get away with more than just...
Background checks are a joke, by the way. That's a fucking joke. So stupid.
no-name licenses. They can also apparently become the superintendent of a state's largest school district.
From New York to Iowa, you probably heard the name by now, Ian Roberts.
There he is.
He has been detained by ICE after attempting to flee with a gun, a knife, and $3 grand in cash. Because of...
This guy's playing Grand Theft Auto, and he's the superintendent of a school.
According to authorities, he had a final order of removal and
no
work authorization. The Des Moines Public Schools Board tearfully accepting his resignation on Tuesday.
Look at
how can this man
a council of Karens, primarily.
Slip through the cracks, you may
Because
ask.
they let it happen. They knew it was happening. They let it happen.
It's a great question, considering he has a history. He was also a school superintendent in Pennsylvania, where he is reportedly linked to the hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal settlements related to personnel complaints during his tenure.
What?
Des Moines knew nothing about it. This did not raise a flag in his background check.
Oh my!
Joining us now, Washington
Isn't it crazy how the thing that everybody says doesn't happen happened? With an illegal immigrant that's able to register to vote? Isn't that crazy? How does that happen? I wonder how many times that happens. Well, it's at least one. How the fuck? Was he just super lucky? No, he just lied. I mean, it's not that simple. I bet he still did his job well. You know what's funny? It's that he probably did do a better job than half of the people there that were legally there, right? Half of those like moron teachers. And the thing is, yeah, he's probably like, well, I can't fuck this up. I'm gonna have to go up and get sent back.
Examiner, national political reporter, Selena Zito. Selena,
I mean, I have to, you know, it's like I respect the resolve to survive. I do. I've got to respect it. Like, to have that many things against you and to still be doing this, running away from the police with a gun, a knife, $3,000 in cash. You're the superintendent of a school system while you're an illegal alien in the country and you're trying to evade the police. Bro, this guy was on another level.
You wrote about
Respect for the hustle, but GTFO. Yeah, I respect it, but you gotta leave.
his tenure when he was in Pennsylvania in the Mill Creek Township School District. And that school district has buckets to say about this gentleman. And it's outrageous. They made more than $330,000 in legal settlements, one of which happened right before he left that school district.
Man.
Yeah, the school board approved it 4 days before he left. There was 3 different settlements. One had to do with...
So they're interviewing this guy, like... Jesus.
Some sort of harassment issue. The other one had to do with some sort of, it said a gender issue, a highly qualified...
Being in shape and well-dressed is like a cheat code for the world. That's all it is. It's insane that that's literally all you have to do. You can get away with almost anything. It's crazy, but people are like very primitive minded, so it's like, yeah, that's it. He's got, straight white teeth, he's in shape, he's wearing suits. People are like, this guy must be a good guy.
Person was turned down for the position and then demoted. They won that plaintiff won that statement, that settlement, and then there was a third one which there wasn't a lot of details about. But it poured through the school board's minutes.
Yeah.
It was in there. And there didn't seem to be any sort of acknowledgement, any sort of comment. I think what is interesting about him is when he
it's a loaded gun. Like, oh my God.
Superintendent, he only
When's he running for president?
Meets all
I gotta say, it's impressive that he's been able to get away with that much stuff.
It's like a grading system.
It is. It's impressive.
Each year that comes up each year, like a review, and the next superintendent has received high marks. So even then, even when he was superintendent, there were clearly
How'd they discover it was illegal?
meeting the moment.
Because they caught him. Like, here's the thing, right? Is that when you run away from the police, they usually just, like, they're going to run your license plate, and then they're just going to go to work. They're going to look it up, like, oh, okay, it's registered in this person's, okay, let's just go to their house. And they're like, and then they're going to show up later on and be like, why were you running away? And like, oh, that wasn't me. We're like, well, then who is this? It's a picture of you. And then they're like, yeah, okay, you're going to have to go to jail. And that's it. So, yeah, it's pretty fucking simple. How to get caught? Probably by trying to run away from the police, I think. That's what it seems like.
I poured through the old Des Moines Register news reports when he was hired in 2023. Yeah. And the Mill Creek School Board just gushed about him. And I just thought,
we should say he deserves the presumption of innocence just like anybody else in the nature of these settlements.
Everybody deserves the presumption of innocence, but man, like, there sure seems like there's a lot of evidence of guilt. There sure are a lot of negatives, huh? Like, wow.
He was at fault. The lawsuits were settled, but ICE says that he had a previous weapons charge in 2020. And there was a final deportation order in 2024. His lawyer says that another lawyer told him that matter had been resolved. But I don't understand, how does this not come up in Des Moines, where an official says they had a search firm do the work here?
Man.
Right. And so you have to wonder, what is the search firm? Is it someone's friend that runs the search firm? Right? There's a lot of executive search firms out there. Some of them are very, very excellent. But you have to, there needs to be transparency.
Unbelievable.
This is a person that we're putting in, and this is what the people in Erie said to me. Look, I don't care about the politics of this.
This guy goes from playing Grand Theft Auto to an elementary school. I mean, like, that's a crazy multi-classing. Like, you don't see stuff like that all the time.
I care about is that there was
the day
not
job, yeah.
a competent review done of this man, and in not just in our school district, but also then going forward, we passed him forward. And you know, it's really tough for parents because parents want the best for their children.
Yeah.
And when you put someone in that position, you expect them to be who they said they were.
Yeah.
And I'll leave you with this. Des Moines Public Schools board chair, Democrat, Senate candidate, and former Michelle Obama staffer.
What a surprise. Surprise, surprise. Who could have guessed?
Demanded radical empathy for this man.
Oh, God.
Radical empathy.
It's just fucking funny.
I don't know.
It's outrageous.
I'll leave you with that.
If I want radical empathy, if I get a splinter, right? Like what in my finger? What does that even mean? Do they just make up these words to try to make a point? Because I don't think that parents are happy. Yes, there was a protest saying they wanted him to stay, but I see as more and more information
they want him to stay.
About his credentials
wait, so you want a guy that's had multiple gun charges, that was evading police with a knife and money in his car, that's an illegal alien, to stay and be the superintendent for a school? What the fuck is wrong with these people?
Racist and white fucking saviors, dude. They're disgusting. They're literally disgusting. It's ugh.
I think more and more parents
are
going to be very unhappy with their school board.
We demand radical honesty from all libs.
That's crazy. That? Oh my God. Apparently he did an excellent job. I'm sure maybe he did. Sure. But if you can't find somebody, like, do you really think that the only person that can run a school is an illegal alien with multiple gun charges? I think you can probably find somebody else, right? It's not like there's only two options in the whole world. It's outrageous that people put up with this bullshit. It's crazy. They might hire Kevin Spacey to be the school. Okay, all right. And not the school 63. Yeah, it's outrageous that this kind of stuff keeps happening. And it just seems to be getting worse, which is what's so shocking to me about this. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. Yeah, he was working on his doctoral program, but he never finished. He had multiple legitimate degrees with different colleges, though. Exactly. And all of those degrees and all of those resources were resources that should have been allocated to an American rather than an illegal alien from another country that has a gun charge on them. That's the problem. I'm sure that, and here's the thing, I don't think a lot of these people are evil, right? I don't think they're evil, but they don't need to fucking be here. And there's an opportunity cost. If you do something for a person like this, then somebody else doesn't get it who is actually a citizen. And I think that's really what the difference is here. That's the big problem that a lot of people have. That's the problem that I have. It's the opportunity cost, because a lot of these things do exist in a zero-sum environment, whether you want to admit it or not. And so that's it. And then, here's more of it. Wait. His criminal record includes the following. Charges for criminal possession of narcotics within... What the fuck?
Yeah, pretty bad.
This is... okay, well, so this guy's just been doing it for a while. He's been in the game for a bit, huh? And, yeah, I don't know what the hell is this, man. How long is this guy in the country? For 30 years, apparently, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, what a crazy, crazy world to be in. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that because it's just shocking. That is the level. And also, it's very important to keep this in mind because people like this will put your children and your family and your communities in danger Like, I'm sorry, but like, if you're driving around and you've had gun charges, you're an illegal alien, you've got a knife in the car and a bunch of money, and you were previously arrested for narcotics, I think that you are a dangerous person. Somebody, like, even if he was an American citizen, I think you need to arrest this guy and put him in jail, right? Because he doesn't know how to act, and it's not civilized behavior. They have
Straight to alligator Alcatraz. Get this motherfucker out of here, dude.
Have no problem to satisfy their narcissistic. It's not suicidal empathy, because suicidal implies that they're going to incur some sort of debt for this. No, they will experience no negative consequences for this. Other people experience the negative consequences. Society experiences the negative consequences, while they get to feel good about themselves and how good of people they are. That's the big difference, and that's what's happening right here. When did he get the gun charge? Because it was long ago. People can change. Yeah, you're right. People can change, but he just got arrested very recently within the last day or last year for trying to evade the police with another gun that he shouldn't have had. Some people change. Most people don't. Sorry. That's what I think. I think most people actually don't change. And they're the same. They're going to do the same shit over and over. That's why all of these people that get arrested get, like, if you get arrested like 3 times, that should be it. Like, it really, like, what are we doing? People getting arrested multiple times. 10 times somebody gets arrested. Just put them in jail. Keep them there. That's it. Like, why is the whole world, why are we spending millions of dollars micromanaging people that don't know how to follow the fucking rules? It's embarrassing. It's a stupid argument. Yes. No, it's so tiresome. Vehicles ambush ICE agents near Chicago, triggering a shooting and a National Guard order. Oh, boy. Well, let's take a look at it. That's quite interesting.
Anti-ICE protests erupting in Portland and Chicago this week, resulting in several arrests. This as Portland becomes the next target for the Trump administration to deploy the National Guard as part of President Trump's crime crackdown.
Yeah.
Christina Coleman is here with the latest.
They should have been doing the whole time.
Hi, Mike. Portland police says their rapid response team arrested 2 men who refused to get out of the street and engaged in aggressive behavior to each other during the protest last night. Also, the DOJ is launching an investigation into the arrest of independent conservative journalist Nicholas Sorter. He was one of a number of people.
Yeah, how did he get arrested?